Hi there, hope everyone has watched the first and second episodes of the Dahmer series. If not, please check the link in the description, or else click on the I button here. Here is the third episode. It is the year 1959, a winter season. 4 months before Jeff's birth. Jeff's mother, Joyce, is having some pills. She's 5 months pregnant now. She's watching the snow fall outside. After that scene, a night is shown. Lionel comes home driving in a car. While coming, he sees Joyce sitting at a bus stop nearby. He gets out of the car and calls Joyce. Joyce is in an unusual state of mind, where she is even unaware of where she is. The next day, Lionel takes Joyce to a doctor. The doctor checks Joyce's pregnancy reports and says to her, "Joyce, do you still take your medicines properly?" "Doctor, I brought her to you because she is consuming the medicines more than enough for a day. Sometimes pills to control tension, sleeping pills, pills to prevent fear, and like that. She consumes almost 26 pills a day." Joyce angrily says, "Lionel, these are pills prescribed by other doctors. I'm having all that pills because, if I didn't consume those, my body will become weaker." Lionel says to the doctor, "Let her have whatever she wants. I'm only concerned about the baby inside her." Joyce says, "Nothing will happen to the baby. When I consume medicine, then the baby will only become healthier." When they get into a quarrel, the doctor interferes and says, "Can you people stop this? Joyce, if you keep on consuming all those pills, it will only bring harm to you and your baby's health. The upcoming days are important. You have to take immense care." Joyce understands her mistake. She takes Lionel's hands and says, "Forgive me. I'll take care now onwards." Joyce used to have pills for anything and everything, which caused her mental problems. This could also be a possibility of Jeff ending up having certain strange characteristics in his personality. The next scene is, in the year 1977. Jeff is 17 years old now. He is going to a pond with his father. They throw a fish hook into the pond and intends to catch fish. Jeff didn't know how to catch fish, so Lionel teaches him how to catch one. Jeff then tries catching fish. Lionel asks Jeff, "Are there any women in your life?" Jeff with shock asks, What you mean, Dad?" "Nothing. When I was your age, I had many love relationships. I don't really think that you have someone in your life." "And so, have you ever felt to be sexually involved with someone?" asked Lionel. Then Lionel explains to Jeff about women's body parts and their specialties. Jeff was not interested in all that conversation, as he was gay. When Jeff says to stop that conversation, Lionel stops. Then they cut and clean up the fishes they caught. Lionel was doing all of that. Jeff is just watching it. When Lionel goes to cut another fish, Jeff says, "Can I clean that one, Dad?" Lionel moves away and says, "Why not? You can do it." Jeff takes a knife and starts cutting it. Jeff was more interested in those kinds of jobs. After that scene, Jeff is about to sleep. He is masturbating while looking at naked women in a sex magazine, but he couldn't really do it seeing those women. Suddenly he hears his mother and father quarreling. He puts on a dress and goes there quickly. The fight today was a bit extreme. Lionel sees Jeff while they were quarreling and says angrily, "What are you looking at? Go sleep." Jeff goes back to his bed. He continued his masturbation, without caring about his parents fighting in the other room. This time he didn't masturbate with those pictures of women in the book, but instead, he did it thinking about the fishes he tried cutting earlier. The next day, he goes to school. He is in 12th now. Jeff and his friends were sitting in their biology class. The class was about a pig's body, so they all had a dead piglet before them too. "Students, you all have to dissect them and learn about their internal organs," said their biology sir. Then a girl next to Jeff calls their sir and says, "I feel like vomiting when I see dead animals. Can we learn something else today?" Jeff says to her, "Denise, can you just shut up? If you are not interested, don't do it. I can do it for you too." Their biology sir congratulates Jeff, thinking that he is really interested in learning, and says to the whole class, "Look at Jeff. Good boy." Everybody learned something from Jeff, but their sir didn't know that Jeff gained some kind of ecstasy from dissecting living beings. Then Jeff goes on and dissects the piglet. After some time, their biology period ends and everybody starts leaving the class, taking their bags and all. Jeff goes to their sir and says, "Sir, can I take a dead piglet to dissect and learn more about it?" Surprised sir says, "In my entire teaching life, you are the only one to ask me something like this." Then sir allows Jeff to take the piglet with him. Meanwhile, Lionel and Joyce are sitting in a lawyer's office. They got divorced now. They are sitting there now to know the decision of the court about their children. A lawyer comes and talks to them. "Your younger child David should stay with his mother. This is court's decision." Joyce becomes happy and goes out of the office. David was sitting in a bench outside. "David, my son, come let's go." said Joyce. Lionel murmurs to David, "Don't go with your mother, David. She can't properly take care of you." But David goes with Joyce. Lionel then asks, "What about Jeff? He is already 17 now. He can handle everything by himself. Let him do whatever he wants," replies Joyce and leaves. After that, Jeff comes back from school. He wasn't aware that his parents got divorced. Lionel was watching TV. Lionel asks Jeff to sit on the sofa. Jeff knew that his father had something important to talk to him, so Jeff goes and sat on the sofa. Lionel tells Jeff about the divorce. Jeff asks Lionel sadly, "With whom I should live with now?" Lionel says to Jeff, "You can stay with anybody you want. But Jeff, I want you to be with me. I need you." Lionel suddenly senses a foul smell and asks Jeff, "What is that smell, Jeff?" "Oh, that's the dead piglet. I took it from the biology lab today to learn more about it," said Jeff. "Very good. Smart. You should study well, and should also lead a good life from what you learn," Lionel says as an advice to Jeff. Lionel leaves by saying that he'll be back soon. But he returned only after 3 months. The next day, Jeff drives a car from the school back to his home. He sees a handsome guy standing there. He was Steven. Every evening, Steven used to wear shorts and goes for jogging. Jeff starts having a feeling of lust towards Steven. He reaches home. He sees his mother packing things to leave. David is also seen all set to leave with his mother. "Mom, don't leave me. You weren't there yesterday. I was all alone by myself," said Jeff. "Oh, just after the divorce, your father went to another woman, didn't he? However, I don't care. We are leaving," said Joyce. "What should I do, Mom?" said Jeff. "I don't have to take care of that anymore. Do whatever you want, for you and your father. I'm not important at all. All that matters to you people is dissecting those animals." "Have you ever called me with you?" asked Joyce. "Would you even come if at all I called you?" asks Jeff. "No, I won't, because I don't like whatever you two do together." "Got to hell," said Joyce and leaves in a car. Then Jeff becomes alone in his home. He can now do anything he wants. Nobody is there to control him anymore. For the next 3 months he did whatever he wanted. In that house, he drank beer, smoked and enjoyed a lot. Jeff always noticed Steven on Jeff's way back to home. Days passed. One day, Jeff meets Steven on his way back from school. "I should do something to have sex with him," thinks Jeff. The next day, Jeff wears jogging dress and waits for Steven to come. He had a stick in his hand too. Jeff hides behind grass. Jeff's plan was to hit Steven with the stick and to take him to Jeff's home. After some time, when Steven comes that way, Jeff tries to hit Steven, but he couldn't. After that scene, Jeff and Steven are seen coming to Jeff's home. Jeff offered Steven some beer, to which Steven agrees. And that's how Steven came to Jeff's home. Jeff gives Steven beer. Steven asks, "Is there nobody here, Jeff? It's been 3 months since Mom and Dad got divorced. They don't come here. I live alone here. But you came. I'm happy now," said Jeff. But all those were just Jeff's imagination. The truth is that Steven never went to Jeff's home. Jeff actually got scared and ran away from there. After that scene, Joyce is seen sitting in an AIDS center. She's helping a patient in it. A woman, who was the manager there, comes. She calls Joyce to her room. "I've been selected as the new manager of Central AIDS Center. I'll leave within some days. After I leave, you will be the manager here." "I insist that," said the manager. Joyce becomes happy hearing that and asks, "Do I really have the capability to be the manager?" "Sure, you are really worthy of this manager position. The patient here gets energy from you. I decided to give you this position because you look after them very well." Joyce becomes too happy and starts talking bad about her ex-husband Lionel, saying that, "I should have divorced my husband and come here long back." After that scene, Jeff comes to class late. He then starts drinking beer in class. His teacher, in a huge shock, asks Jeff, "Are you drinking beer in my class?" Then Jeff is seen sitting in the headmaster's room. The headmistress there tries to advise him a lot, saying that, "Jeff, you are just 17 now. You are a really good boy. I know what is bothering you during your studies. We can understand very well that your parents got divorced, but now, you should try to forget that and focus on your studies." Then the headmistress asks Jeff his ambitions. "What are your goals in life, Jeff?" Jeff says some random, unrelated things like, "I wanted to dissect animals before. Now I want to go gym and be more attractive," and then Jeff leaves. Later Jeff is seen going back to home in his car. Steven asks him for a lift. When Jeff saw Steven, he becomes so happy. Jeff stops his car. Steven asks Jeff, "Hey bro, I want to go to a nearby city. There's a music party at 7:30. Can you drop me there?" Jeff replies, "I'm not that way, but I can take you there." "Isn't the music party at 7:30? There's a lot of time left. Let's first go to my home, have some beer together and then go there." Steven agrees, and goes with Jeff to his home. Jeff lifts a dumbbell and asks Steven to lift it. Steven replies, "No, we don't have time for all that. Let's go to that party." "Alright, let's go. But before we leave, let's have one last beer," says Jeff, taking a beer bottle in his hand. "Okay, let's have one more beer and leave quickly. We must leave soon, as we have to reach there on time," said Steven. When Steven started drinking beer, Jeff goes and kisses him. Angry Steven prevents Jeff, saying that, "What are you even trying to do, man? I'm not the type of person you think." "I'm sorry, my mistake." Jeff apologizes. Steven says, "I need to go now, Jeff. You told me that you'll drop me there. It's already late. You should not go. If you leave now, I'll become sad. Why can't you stay with me?" Jeff says sadly. "Are you kidding? I'm leaving," says Steven and tries to leave. Jeff lifts the dumbbell there, and with that, he hits on Steven's head. Steven falls on the floor, and Jeff kills Steven by strangling him. Jeff then kisses Steven as much as he wants. After some time, when Jeff looks at Steven, Jeff finds Steven dead. Jeff doesn't know what to do now. He becomes tensed for some time, and then decides to hide Steven's body. Jeff drags Steven's body from inside the house to outside, and then places it under his home's floor. It is nighttime now. Jeff is not satisfied with Steven's body being hit on the floor. Jeff got scared about the fact that somebody might see this, and he might get caught. He starts thinking about other ways to destroy the body and takes the body from the floor. He then takes that body to the garage. Jeff's plan was to dissect Steven's body like he dissects other animals. Jeff's unusual, strange deeds, starting from that cat, have now reached a human. Jeff gathers many tools from different parts of his house to dissect Steven's body. Then Jeff cuts Steven's body into pieces. After that scene, Jeff is riding his car on the road. He was going to throw away Steven's body parts in waste. Jeff was drunk and he couldn't drive his car properly. A police car started following him as they understood that the driver is drunk. They ask Jeff to stop the car, and Jeff stops his car. Then the police asks Jeff for his license, and Jeff shows his license too. "Are you drunk?" asked the police. "A bit. My parents got divorced. I drank because of that sorrow," said Jeff. The police notices the big cover on the backseat of the car. "What's in that cover?" asked Jeff. "It's some waste from home to throw away," replied Jeff. "Alright. We are not taking any action. As you are very young, we should never ever see you drunk again here. Go back to your home now," said the police. Jeff reaches home back. He goes to the bathroom and flushes Steven's meat. After disposing meat, it is the bones which are left now. Jeff uses a hammer to make the bones into smaller pieces. Then Jeff goes to the roof of his garage with a cover having that broken pieces of bones in his hand, and he converts those smaller pieces of bones into powder. Then Jeff threw that powder all over the front yard. He finally manages to dispose Steven's body completely. It was Jeff's first ever murder. This was only a beginning to the series of murders he was going to commit later in his life.